1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Looks like we are live. All right. Let's go here and let's see who we got cooking today. Gerald's here live with us. Gerald, thanks for popping in. And Kenny's here, Dave Anderson, Paul D from the UK, Peter. That looks like Martin is guest 422. Paul B, Giles, Tommy, Curtis, Mike, Donovan, Martin, SU fan, Bill from Texas, Dano from Spokane, Washington, Philip from Austria, Jerry S., Tommy House, Tess is here. Tess and I are going to do the PTZ Optics show together on Friday. I'm excited about that. John O'Malley, Rod from the UK,
Austria.
Neobr. Neobr. That's a good one. You'll have to explain that one, Neobr. Dave Edwards, Omar, Jamie. Jamie, did you get my note this morning? I'm sorry I haven't returned to you yet. Dan is PI Engineering. Amir, Johnny, Alan Z, Luciano, Etronic, Merle, Mike L, TV, Todd, William Lee, and Rudy Engels. And everybody needs to give Rudy a shout because Rudy won a free version of Vmix Pro on the PTZ Optics show last Friday. So well done, Rudy. And Vmix is going to be giving away another copy of Vmix Pro next Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Vmix Fun Time live show for April. So, NeoBR. NeoBR. Got it. NeoBra. And Omar, you are my best fan. Thank you very much. If you're watching us on Facebook right now or on YouTube directly, and you say, well, who is Tom talking to? Well, I'm at some point, Gerald and I are going to chat, but for right now, I'm chatting with the folks in the chat room. And you can join in on that too at easternshorebroadcasting.com, and you'll see the same video right here and get to chat with all the other folks. There are 4 dozen people in the chat room right now, so we would welcome you to come on over to the show. And it looks like we're all green on the stream. That's good. And let's see. And Carinder saw me on the Steve Haywood show. All right. Gerald, you're getting some love there from Merle and Martin. And Chris says, chat in the chat room? That's crazy. Chris, you live a sheltered life. Facebook is choppy, only me and one other viewer. Well, Dave, I may be the other viewer because I'm kind of monitoring it myself. Facebook doesn't have kind of a stream health kind of meter, at least that I haven't seen. Rudy says Vmix is just too addictive. Yeah, when you get to start with the $1,200 version, Rudy, it's I can understand your pleasure. It's pretty cool. All right, let's see. We need to turn off some audio there, turn off some audio there. And the wife is here. Glad to have you. That means Jan is here too, we would hope. Okay, how are we doing on time? Looks like we are at time. Gerald is with me, just kind of a last-minute thing, to talk about StreamCon, and I'm not going to steal his thunder or allow him to steal his own thunder right now, but he'll come on the show briefly to talk about StreamCon. If you haven't already, mark your calendar for June 8th through 11th. Is that right, Gerald? 8th through 11th. June 8th through 11th. All right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Dan says, Tom, to answer your previous question, Tim at Vmix uses one, as does Paul at PTZ Optics, and we've sold a pile of them for Vmix. Well, I didn't know that was my question, but I'll take your word for it. Okay, Tommy House says YouTube is choppy also. Oh, that's not fun. I'm all green here with YouTube, monitoring the YouTube channel, and I think I've got the YouTube video paused. And yeah, I paused the video at 31 minutes out. So, my apologies. Y'all keep me in the loop on that. Can Vmix support Wirecast? Well, that's kind of like saying, can a Chevy drive a Ford? It's a non-question, but we can get into that. Stream is good in Germany. Thank you, Chris. All right. Amir has gone to the Eastern Shore Facebook page, but can't see the live stream. Well, don't go there. Emir, YR, go to did I spell that right? I think I did. Okay. All right. Very good. I think we're good to go here. Everybody ready? Everybody ready? Oh, last minute thing. If you're watching us on YouTube directly, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com, right down there, and you can watch and chat. And chatting is so much fun, because I can see there are about a dozen people, or actually almost 15 people, at YouTube that are not watching us live on Eastern Shore Broadcasting, so you're missing out on the chat. Come on over to the chat. It's a lot of fun, and you'll be glad you did. Okay, Gerald, I am going to mute you for the moment, and we are going to get this ball game rolling. So we need to bring that shot in so that we're ready. Oh, Gerald, one quick question. What are you seeing? What feed are you seeing from me?
I see the Vmix call part, but at this point I just see you by yourself.
Okay, and so now you see the two of us.
On the Vmix call, yes.
Okay.
On
Okay.
the YouTube, not yet.
Well, don't watch the YouTube. That'll distract you. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. You might, Alan C said you might consider reformatting the page so the video and chat are side by side. It would work better on 1080p monitors. Well, Alan, actually, I do it that way intentionally because I want you to pop out one or the other or both, and you can pop out both the video and the chat, and then you can position them and resize them and shape them to your screen, whatever your screen is. And for example, I've got my chat popped out, and it's taken up about a third of the screen on one of my monitors, and it's right close to my line of sight here. Actually, my lemonade is in the way, but you notice my lemonade straw? That's pretty cool. All right. We're going to get started. Enough of this idle chit-chat. You ready? Fade to black. Hello and welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair. This is Streaming Idiots, and I am stoked. I am so stoked. I've got a wonderful guest warming up in the green room. Gerald Griffith with StreamCon is here to briefly talk about StreamCon, and then we're going to talk a little bit about and do some live demo of Byron's fabulous frames that we introduced last week and have been selling like hotcakes. Excuse me. So, shout out to all the folks watching us live on YouTube directly. If you're watching us directly, or if you're watching us on Facebook directly, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com, and that way you won't miss out on what's going on in the chat, because right now there are about 5 or 6 dozen folks in the chat, and they're talking back and forth. They're not paying any attention to me, but that's okay, because they're enjoying getting to know each other, talking about streaming, and it really is cool, the community that gets built in these types of situations, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it. Thrilled to be a part of it. Mike Cannell from Sportscast was gonna be here today, but his internet connection was iffy, and so we decided to push him back 2 weeks. So he will be here on April 19th to talk about Sportscast, which is that live scoreboard system that actually plugs into the scoreboard system at the sports venue. It's Sportscast, SPORTZCAST. I think it's sportscast.us. So you can go find more information about them now if you want to, or after the show. And then Mike will be joining us in 2 weeks. Next week, we're going to have Bruce Richardson from VideoLink in Canada. Bruce is a Vmix reseller and Vmix hardware dealer, and also a TriCaster dealer, and a real wealth of information about live streaming equipment. Bruce also is a beekeeper in his spare time, so it's going to be an interesting conversation. That's going to be next week, April 12th. So the 12th will be Bruce Richardson, the 19th will be Mike Cannell, and then the 26th we will be at NAB starting that Monday, and be there Monday through Thursday, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to have a live show from the floor of NAB at the Vmix booth. And we will have more details about that. And we're also putting together kind of a Vmix meetup at NAB. It's either going to be Tuesday night or Wednesday night at Scott Whitney's studio there in Las Vegas. That's really going to be cool. We'll do it after the show. And if you haven't already, there was a poll on the Streaming Idiots Facebook group page, and that's right down there. Oops, right down there. You can join it if you haven't already. And there was a poll there, are you going to NAB? And that's the folks that are going to NAB, we're going to send a note to and say, hey, which night's going to be better for you to do this thing, because we want to get as many people there at the same time as we possibly can. So facebook.com/groups/streaming idiots. You can join in all the fun all throughout the week as we talk about streaming and help each other with problems in streaming and come up with great ideas for the way to stream. So that's facebook.com/groups/streaming idiots. And hat tip to Jan L. and the wife for starting that page. It's been real, real popular. We're really excited about that. A couple other things that are kind of just kind of housekeeping kind of things, but fun too. We hit the 3,000 mark in YouTube subscribers this week. Yay! It was really kind of cool. And there we go. That's right. And so we've got 3,000 subscribers. I'm delighted and honored that folks would do that. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead and do it. Eastern Shore Broadcasting on YouTube. And you'll get a notice whenever we put new videos up. And plus, you'll get all the 300 or 400 videos that we've done in the past on all sorts of subjects to do with streaming. But also, our Streaming Idiots Facebook group is up to 463 members, including 28 new members this week. Stan Ricard, Luciano Danto, Jason Bates, Rolando Vargas, Daniel Serrano, Paul Costa, Bob Collier, Scott DeRate, Rick Clear, Roy Sawyers, Camille Domat, Will Aponte, Cal Harmon, Bibin Yesby, Kung Za Tung, Tom Gowski, Karinder Singh, Christian Ruggles, Hut Gay, Norbert Diasis, Samantha Price, Louis Ibarra, Daniel Trevino, Scott Silvestrich, Brian Montgomery. Sometimes I spell a lot of these phonetically, so if you hear me kind of slowly go through it, it's because I'm trying to get it right. Aiden Casto, Marie McDonald, and Jubilee Barber, Jubbly, Jubilee. Jubilee Barber. I would have loved to have had that name, Jubilee Barber. It sounds like such a excited, kind of bubbly, cool name. All right, welcome, Jubilee Barber. That's our 28 new members. And Luciano says it's Donato. Sorry about that. Okay, very good. I appreciate the. In fact, we'll make a note about that right here. All right, we got that all straight. So there's so much exciting stuff coming up. We've got NAB coming up later this month. Coming up in June, we've got this StreamCon event in Atlanta. And so let me bring in Gerald Griffith, because Gerald and I are working together on StreamCon. Gerald, welcome to, let me get that lower third out of the way. Welcome to the show. Thank you for popping in today. It was kind of a last minute thing, but I appreciate you being with us.
It's all right, Tom. I think things always fall together the way they should, so I'm happy to jump in there and talk to you and people out there and share a few more tidbits about StreamCon.
Yeah, you've been working on some presentations or some presenters and panelists, and give us some ideas, some of the subjects and some of the folks that might be coming.
Oh, wow. Well,
Can you do that?
I can. I
Okay.
won't get into too much with the presenters other than to say, people like yourself, people like Jim Jacobs, for
Oh
those
yeah.
who love sports and things like that. Jim's planning to bring out his trailer, and we'll be doing some outdoor demonstration. But just to kind of, give people a high level thing. One, I'm hoping to have the website, the basic framework of the website up by this weekend to mark the 60-day countdown for the event. But I also want to incorporate a little bit of a survey because it's important to me to get feedback and input from those who may be interested in attending. But the biggest thing I want to point out is that StreamCon is unique in that it does not attempt to be or be like an NAB or a NAM or anything like that, which are trade shows. This is really meant to be a user-based conference that's really designed for people who are in the trenches. They're not running around with $1 million worth of gear and things like that. These are guys who, like yourselves, are out there every day trying to make things work. You're working on the weekends, doing things. You may be doing the live streaming at your church. You may be doing sports. You may be doing events. That's how I got into it, doing my own conference streaming for my annual conference. And my role in it is I plan events. And the way I characterize it is I plan people events for specific user communities. So this is an effort to take everything I've learned in doing the other conference that I do, which has grown in 5 years. It started at 125 people. This past year, we had about 575 people from 14 countries altogether and about 40 different states. So hopefully I can create an environment where people feel encouraged and motivated to really take it to the next level. I think being a hobbyist is great, and a lot of us get into that because we started off, in some innocent fashion, either helping with a sports team or doing it at the church, or in my case, having an event and starting it. But if you really want to go to that next level, if you want to say, okay, I want to really benefit from this, I want to produce a better product, I want to know more about how to get clients, get sponsors, build a business, things like that, then that's who StreamCon is geared toward. Is the people who want to make an investment in that. They've got Vmix, and Tom, you can tell them about our special guest there if you like. But it's really meant for those people who want to spend a good weekend fully engaged in the process. And like I say, no keyboard required.
That's right. I was talking with the guys at Vmix, and Martin and Tim are going to stay over in the States, and stay over so that they can come to StreamCon. Vmix is going to be one of the major sponsors of the event this year, and Martin will be giving the keynote. I don't know that he knows that yet. Right now, he's tunnel vision focused on NAB, but once we get him out of NAB and we get him to relax a little bit, we may do, or we may just have a roast, and we'll roast him. We'll see how that works. But that's going to be a lot of fun. Gerald, I think you're going to make a presentation, and I know a bunch of you that are here in today's live audience have been asked to consider being on a panel or being on a presentation. And if you haven't and you're interested in it, you can shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, and I'll pass that along to Gerald. Gerald, thank you. Anything else before you go?
Well, just want people to know that it's really meant to be about, hands-on learning. Yes, there are presentations, but the way I structure a number of the things is for people to see it being done, to touch it, to feel it, to ask questions. And the way I say is you should get something from an in-person experience that you can't get online.
Yeah.
So, the goal isn't just to say, well, hey, let's do the same thing, sit at keyboards all day. No, Martin's going to be there, Tim's going to be there. We want to see Vmix from the ground up. We want to be able to ask questions and not be limited by that 1 hour goal of saying, okay, well, let's wrap it up and go to the post show and stuff. No. If you want to dig into Vmix, here's your chance. There's 4 days. We cover 4 days from that Thursday where there'll be a social mixer, because I want you to actually not just see people as an entity on the screen and Facebook, but actually know some people. Like Tom, you and I have talked, and we've talked on the phone a number of times, but I'm looking forward to actually sitting down and having a beer with you, or enjoying, a bite to eat and everything, because I think that's where you really start to have those relationships that really benefit everyone and can help everybody grow. And that's what I'm all about, is saying, where do you want to go and how do you get there?
That's right. That's right.
Now, I see someone asked this question. They said, will StreamCon be streamed live? and that's a question that's come up a few times. There will be some elements that will be shared, but StreamCon is, interestingly enough, even though it's all about streaming, the goal and purpose of it isn't to be an observed event. It's intended to be a hands-on, engaged event. So it's important that if you want to maximize that, because we won't be able to stream the experience to you. We can show you certain bits and elements of it, but if someone's sitting there and it's running an hour and a half, we're not going to have the personnel to sit there and have 5 different camera angles to make sure you're getting everything. We want people to be in the room. We want to have those tables set up where people can gather their chairs around and they can watch up close and personal. And, we have the projectors and the screens and TVs and things like that. So it's really designed to be an in-person experience, even though we will share some elements. Maybe some of the panel discussions, we can stream those so that people can have a chance to see those. And those are general discussions where we're not really running around the room. But for the most part, it's designed to be an in-person experience where you can take your laptop over to Tom and say, hey, here's something I've been running into. I've been getting this error. And then Tom can say, well, okay, well, let me sit here with you and show you how I deal with that type of thing. And that's what we want. We want people to be able to learn, or like when Jim's there in the trailer, we're not going to be worried about streaming that. That's a hands-on experience where you walk into that trailer and he's going to show you how it's set up and how he does the sports feed. And you're going to be able to draw from his, 30 years of experience in broadcasting and production. That's not something we can really live stream. It's really, you need to be there to draw from that experience. Same with you, Tom. You've been around a while, and you work a lot with churches and things like that. So that's a very unique thing for someone to be able to sit there with you and share those stories back and forth about specific instances, and also walk away with that relationship of knowing that there's somebody who gets it. There's somebody who understands your specific things. And, I talked to you about Byron being there, doing some sessions on building multi-view stuff in Vmix and how all that works and comes together. And it's just a lot of different elements we're bringing together with it. I'm going to be talking about some of the whole pay-per-view and using the number tools to do that and how that's done. I'll demonstrate some of that for people that are there. So it's going to be a lot, you know. I mean, when I plan my other conference, it's over 5 years. It's gotten to a huge place now, but when it started off, it was the same way. It was like, how do you make this an engaging experience where people who come walk away knowing that they've got the tools and contacts to really make a huge difference in whatever area of live streaming they're working in.
There you go. There you go. I love it. I love it. Yay. All right, Gerald. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, Gerald, thank you very much. If you want to hang out for the rest of the show, you're welcome to do that for sure.
I'll be
Um,
listening in, but I have got to go do. My kids are out, and we're heading out tomorrow to do some things for
ah.
family. I've got to go get this bunch of laundry done. As exciting as that sounds, right?
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
good. Thank you.
we're going to tackle that. But I'm glad I was able to jump in here, Tom, and hopefully, give a few tidbits about what StreamCon is all about. And
Good.
like I said, I hope to send out a survey probably as early as tomorrow to give people a chance to provide some of their input and feedback about what they'd like to see in it. But
Good.
I will leave them with this: is that when I do events, we do it at a nice hotel. There is an investment involved, but we do it at a nice hotel. We include a welcome reception on Thursday, so there'll be some food there. Then on Friday and Saturday, we include lunch because that's an important networking part of the entire experience. And then on Sunday morning, we'll provide breakfast for people that are there, and we'll be able to again do some more networking. Probably do a closing kind of roundtable because we want to know where people are going with it. Some people it may be a hobby, maybe what they do for fun, but from the guys I've talked to, like yourself, Tom, it's a part of your business. It's a part of what you're doing, and you're looking to grow and things like that. Jim does it for business, and so those are one of the areas where we really want to tackle. What are some best practices? What's working for you, Tom, versus what's working for Jim, versus what's working for Mr. Ignacio out there on the West Coast. So it's like, how do we do these things? Scott from up in is it Wisconsin or Ohio
Wisconsin.
areas?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
from
there's a
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin in there's a Scott in Las Vegas and a Scott in Wisconsin and
Yeah,
a Scott in
Scott.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, he's
It's
going to be joining us and sharing a lot of his business practices and things like that. So people are eager to share, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to learning. I'm looking forward to sharing, and I think that's the attitude that anybody who's coming should be looking forward to. But it's going to be jam-packed weekend. Come to have a good time. Come to meet new people from all around the country. Martin and Tim are going to be there, and you'll be able to have a connection. Now, look, it's very different than you spending time with them at NAV or something, because when you're there, you're on the showroom floor and there are 10,000 other
Yep.
people moving around. But at StreamCon, it's a much smaller group. It's a much more intimate setting, and you have a chance if you didn't get the answer that you wanted when you talk to them on Friday, you can follow up with them Friday night. You can follow up with them Saturday morning. You can follow up with them Saturday afternoon, or we can incorporate it into maybe one of the demonstrations so that someone can actually show you what they're talking about. Because I am an anti-bobblehead person, and what I mean by that is, I remember in one of my training classes, standing in the back of the room with the presenter talking, and he was going on and on, and he was asking people, "Are you all getting it? Is everything being clear?" And the people were shaking their heads, "Yep, yep." And I'm standing in the back of the room, realizing that half the people in that room had not a clue. They just were too embarrassed to raise their hand. And I think that's tragic for people to invest in something, leave out, and have no clue, what it was about and not get their value out of it. And so StreamCon is really meant, and any of the events that I put together are really designed for you to be engaged in that process so that when you leave, you actually do know more than you knew when you got there.
and not only do you know more, but you know more folks.
Oh
And
yeah, oh, that's
and
a huge part.
that's the real silver lining to the whole thing. I think is to come away having pressed the flesh, had a meal, sat down and shot the breeze, over a cup of coffee or whatever. And now I have a real life contact that goes in my phone. that I can call them and they know who I am, and I know who they are, and it's
And
a real
and they
point
know
of
part of like
reference.
they know that you understand what it is
That's
they're
right.
talking about.
That's right.
You
Because
know,
we've
they
had this shared
understand the product.
experience together. Yep. Gerald, thanks
Exactly.
so much. I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, we're not gonna tell them anymore. Go on, don't get too excited.
That's right.
Not
That's right.
next
All
week.
right.
Get excited next week.
Maybe we can have you back next week with a few more tidbits. We'll see.
We'll get it. We'll get it. I'll get this website up, and that'll start helping answer some.
StreamCon.net.
Yeah.
StreamCon.net.
So they can
And
join the mailing list there. That's what they can do right now. And then when it
okay.
goes live, I'll send out an email to everybody. I'll do an intro video with a few clips on it talking about it, and I'll have some written content in there as well.
There you
And
go.
then shortly after that, I'll get the hotel all locked in and everything. And I use hotels like Hilton and Marriott and stuff like that. So don't worry about being at Holiday Inn or Motel 6 or
That's right.
Tom's backyard, shed or nothing like
That's
that.
right. That's right. Not my travel trailer. All right, my
Nah, I
friend. Thank
try
you.
to make it classy. You take care, Tom. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right. Bye now.
All right. Bye bye.
All right. We appreciate Gerald taking the time out to come on today and tell us about StreamCon. Mark your calendars. It's June 8th through 11th. That's this summer in Atlanta, and you can get really inexpensive flights. That's why we picked Atlanta, because it's a big hub, so it should be easy to get to. And I think Gerald is picking a hotel that's close to the airport, so you don't have to travel for 3 hours to get to the other side of Atlanta to go where we're going. So hat tip to Gerald for putting that on at StreamCon, streamcon.net, and there'll be more information on that forthcoming as we put it together. I'm excited, and perhaps you can help me say, Tom, we would like you to do a presentation on XYZ. And so if you've got some ideas for that, I'd love you can put them in the chat room, or you can shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, and I would be delighted to consider all of those. Now, today we're going to look at at Byron's fabulous frames. You remember last week he came on the show and he was talking about the frames. In fact, you may not have even noticed it, and if that's the case, that's exactly what's supposed to happen. But the frame that Gerald and I were just in is a frame that allows for a separation. We can put a background behind it and put the frames in it, and then put the videos in the frames, and then lower thirds underneath it. And so that when you do things like the merge function, like you saw just a second ago, that you've got something to merge to. So first off, let's see. Let's get. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you my desktop. So let me add an input so that you can see my desktop. I'm going to add a local desktop capture, and I'm going to do it for display 1. I think that'll do it. Yeah, there we go. And so this is my desktop. Let me take my lower third off there. And I have brought in some guests. I have 5 guests with me today. I have Natasha, Brian, Herbert, Umanu, and Carlos. And they are going to help us put together some frames. And I've pulled one in. You can see one over here on the far left side. But let's start out with the way Vmix does frames. And so we're going to add an input. And in this case, we're just going to use a color. We're going to use black as a background. And then I'm going to go into that color one, and I'm going to select multi-view. And Vmix has a lot of multi-views already set up. And let's see if we can pick out, let's pick out the 4-up. Well, let's do that 4-up multi-view. And I'm going to put myself in there. So I'll be in the top left-hand corner. And then we'll get multi-view number 65 in there. And multi-view number 66. And multi-view, whoops, sorry about that, wrong button. And multi-view number 67. And we are in frames. Now we can change the look simply by changing the multi-view right here. And let's see, do we have something else with 4? Yeah, there's a 4. That looks like the same 4. And once I get a multi-view that I like, let's find the 4 one. There we go. I can customize this one to make it be exactly what I want. Let's go with that one right there. And I want to get the black borders out of the way, and I'm going to crop some of the folks. And you know, I think the idea is that everybody needs to be about the same size. There's nothing that shouts amateur to me to have 4 people and they're all different sizes. And so we're going to take the biggest person and we're going to try to size to that person. Now, unfortunately, our biggest person doesn't have a good wide picture, but I'm going to take my main shot and go, well, let's see, let's take her main shot and we'll go to that one and we're going to blow her up just a little bit. And then we're going to crop her a little bit on the bottom. Oops, that's the top. Y2 is the bottom crop. There we go. That's about even right there. And then we'll go back to the multi-view. We'll take the next guy. I think that's going to be 67. And can we blow him up a little bit? Yeah, there we go. And then we'll position him back in the frame a little bit. And we don't have to worry about cropping because he drops off the bottom of the page. And in fact, let's not use me. Let's use somebody else in the multi-view. So let's use Carlos there. And we're going to take Carlos's position. And we'll zoom him out just a little bit. And then we're going to crop him at the bottom. There we go. And you get the general idea. And that is a multi-view. And we can actually save that. And so we've got this special, you see how it's cropped specifically for the people that are in it. And that works pretty well. So that's an option that we have right there. But let's say we want to do something a little different with some frames. And I think I've got a frame here. Let's take this frame and drag it to the frames page. And this frame just happens to have Gerald in it, but we'll take him. We'll take the 2 of us out of it, and so we'll bring in some headshots. '67, '68, and we'll see if we can't position those a little bit better. And this apparently was something, let's see, that was already done. There we go. And overlay 2 is going to be that one. So we're going to center that up a little bit. And then maybe blow it up just a little bit. One of the things that I find helpful, since this is so small, I'm going to just turn that off for just a second. You notice up at the top is the full screen button. And my full screen is assigned to preview display 1. And so my second monitor, since I've got this in preview right over here on the left side, and I click full screen, I can now see that blown up on my second monitor. You can't see my second monitor, but it's great because it's big and it shows the corners of the frames, and it's much easier to work with as when I'm editing on full size than something like that. So if I'm going to come back into this and go to multi-view, now I've got the ability to do some much better cropping. And so I'm going to crop a little bit off the top. Oh, I picked the wrong guy. I want the bottom. There we go. We're going to crop the top a little bit just so that it fits in the frame. And you notice now in Vmix we've got the ability to put in numbers. 99 is what I wanted, maybe 101, maybe 102. Whoops, that's too many ones. There we go. And what I'm doing is I'm putting her in the frame On the X side, I can pull it in to right about there. On the X2, which is going to be the other side, I can pull it there. And if I need to dial it in a little bit more, I can dial it in numerically. And then on the Y side, I'm going to pull her in there. So she's right smack dab in the middle of the frame. Now she's a little tall in that frame. So let's bring her down a little bit. And let's put the top of her head back up there. There we go. Now we need to crop the bottom a little bit more. Okay, and I didn't quite get her right in the frame. There we go. That's good. So now let's take our fella down at the bottom, and let's start off by sort of centering him in the box. And we're going to adjust his cropping. So we're going to crop him a little bit more on the left, a little less on the top. Oops, that's all I've got in that picture, so I'm going to have to take that picture all the way to the top. And then on the right side, which is X2, I need a little less crop. There we go. And at the bottom, I need a little less crop. And now those guys are cropped pretty well. And let me show you what that looks like full screen, so you can see that that looks pretty good. Now that would come into play in a situation where we might have a let's see, let me add a web browser input. This will be a good one. And this is the one we used last week. So I'm going to switch back there so you can see where I'm doing. I've added a web browser input down here. I'm going to take our input number 49, which is our 2-up frame. I'm going to go to multi-view, and I'm going to add the third element in the multi-view, which is input number 73. And that's going to fit right in the borders. If it doesn't, again, I can edit it. Let me turn on the full screen so I can see. Actually, that looks pretty good. It popped right in there nicely. That's the thing about the way Byron has done these borders. Let me show you what it looks like full screen. Is that, let's see, can we let that scroll a little bit? Yeah, there we go. Byron has done the borders with the right aspect ratios so that you can pop things in, like in this case a browser window that's set to 1920 by 1080, and it pops in perfectly. And in this case, it even allows you with some space. I'm going to go back to the full screen shot here. It allows you with some space right down in the bottom of the frame, this frame right here, where I can add text. And so I can add, it wouldn't be a lower third in this case, but I could add text. I could put a text ticker in addition to a title for this shot. So there are a lot of yeah. And Giles is saying change the background color to white so you can read the Streaming Idiots across the bottom. Yeah, in this particular case, let's see. Let's bring that graphic to this page if I can find it. Maybe I've got it up on the front page. Yeah, there it is, number 45. So let's take number 45 to the frames section for just a second. And no offense to me and Gerald, but I'm going to take us out of here. So we're going to take that one out and make it none. And we're going to take that one out and make it none. And I've got this 2-person frame here, side by side, and I'm going to take that out and make it none. And now I'm going to make my 2-up, number 49. I'm going to put that on top of everything right here. And we'll position it so that everything's reset. And so we've got that shot. We'll go live with it. Whoops, that's the wrong shot. Let's try that one. Let's go live with that. And now you can see that my MP4, which is the moving Streaming Idiots backdrop, is now the backdrop with this. We could probably do with moving that fixed text down a little bit. But now we've got two speakers on the left, two speakers on the right. And let's go back to this shot for just a second. And let's say that we were going to do something similar to that for our speakers to do side by side. So we'll use a virtual input. So what I did here, input number 45, which is this big one up here in the top left-hand corner. I'm going to right-click the settings button right here, the little gear icon, and create a virtual input. That'll be this one down here. And then the first thing I'm going to come in and do is just take out what I just put in, which is that shot. So now you can see it's just the Streaming Idiots background. And let's put back in our side by side. Let's see, where is side by side? If you give everything a name, it really makes it easier to find it later on. Side by side, that's not the one I want. There it is right there. Okay, that's the one with Gerald and I, and we're going to reset that so that goes right in the center. But don't pay attention to the names down at the bottom. We're going to do a multi-view, and we're going to bring in, actually that probably should have been, let's see, let's bring in, who are we want to bring in? We're using 68 and 67, so let's bring in 68 here, and if we bring in 67, where does that end up? 67 ends up there, so we'll move him over. So let's get him there. We'll make him a little smaller just for a moment. And we'll go back to overlay 1, which is her. And we'll make her a little larger just for the moment. And we'll go back to input overlay 3, which is him. And he needs to be, again, about the same size headshot. And so we can do some cropping on him to the left and to the right. You're getting the idea now that the frames are borders. And like this one right here, let's see what we do with a 160. What about a 59? Nope, going the wrong way. Let's do a 62. Nope, that is the wrong way. So a 57, 56. There we go. And what I'm doing is I'm adjusting the right size border. And the left side we can't really see until we move her, so we'll go back to overlay number 1. Looks like she's okay on the right. We'll bring her down a little bit on the top. We'll bring her over a little bit on the left because he was over on his border a little bit. And then we'll bring it over on the bottom. If I leave her image overlapping the border is transparent, and so it gives a sort of a beveled look. I'll go back to him as overlay number 3, and let's go ahead and bring his crop out a tad. There we go. And then up just a tad. This is where doing it with the mouse, oh, that is 0, so we're just going to have to physically drag him up just a hair. And if I can't get it just right, I can use any of these numbers here to adjust. For example, if I want to pan the X, I can go from 7.6 to 7.0, and it moves the image ever so slightly. In this case, I want to take a little less crop on the right side to right there, a little less crop on the bottom to right there. And now I've got them in a nice little side-by-side shot. And so we'll show you what that side-by-side shot looks like. We'll queue up the other shot, and then if we use The fade function, it just fades to it. We can use the cut transition, but if we use the merge transition, then they move to their boxes. And the nice thing about the merge transition is that I like, and let me go back to the full shot here so you can see, right in the middle is where the transitions are, and you can set up a shortcut for the merge. But if you click the little white arrow to the right of the merge, you can come down and you can change it to another transition if you want to, but you can also change the duration. I've got it set for a half a second or 500 milliseconds. If I set it for 250 milliseconds or a quarter of a second, when I do the merge, and let's see, let's go ahead and put them back up there, and then I'll queue up the full screen. So these are the two images that I'm working with. When I do the merge now, it's very, very quickly. Might be a little too quickly. Or it might be, and again, it's to suit your taste. So let's slow the merge down to a full second, which is going to be 1,000 milliseconds. And we'll do the merge. Now it's a little bit more gradual. And you can get a feel for it. Really, really nice function, I think. Really, really looks good when you do that. There are dozens of the frames in the package. We'll be updating the website later today, I think. Let's see. Oops, where we are. That's what we're looking for right there. Updating the website later today with a listing of all the different types of images. They're stacked images on the left or the right. There are onesies and twosies. They're three across. One of my favorites that I haven't had a chance to use yet, and let me just add it in here so you can have a look at it. I'm going to go to Add Input and then to the Image tab, and I want to browse. And I put all this stuff in my Dropbox. That way I've got it available on whatever computer I want to go to. And we'll go to Byron's Borders. And let's see, what is it? Yeah, here we go. And this is very, very simply, well, I guess I'm going to have to put a background behind it so you can see it. Let's just add a color. And let's make the color something other than black. There we go. And we'll add, I know you can't see what I'm doing right now, my bad. We're going to put number 75 as a multi-view right there. There we go. And so now I've got what is very similar to the background that Byron used last week. You can see the wood grain at the bottom. You can see the large boxes, so I can put individual people in these boxes. I can spread a photograph over the whole width of them. There are lots of different things in the frame. We can change the size of it. Let's see, position, main. We can zoom it out. We can shift it right and left. Whoa, one of the nice features too, with let me find another box here that we can use. I want to show you this one before we quit, because this is really pretty cool. Let's see if we got a. Well, let's just improvise. We're going to use this image of me for a second, and I'm going to go into, well, let's see. Let me go back and show you the multi-view so that you can see what I'm doing here. All right. And I'm going to use this image of me, and I can take it and I can rotate it a little bit. Let's zoom it out a little bit. And I saw this on the, oops, let's see, let's go right about there maybe. And then we'll go a little bit smaller. And now with the right frame, I can be a TV set, or I can be inside a TV set on the wall, and you could have a virtual background behind me that looks like a, you know, whatever you want to, a sports bar or a racetrack, or somebody's office for that matter, a TV studio. And I fit into that space. And what I used was the rotate buttons, which allows me just to tick through these X, Y, Z, and each one allows me to do a different type of rotation. That's the X-axis, that's the Y-axis, and that's the Z-axis. And so based on a combination of those, I can take my image, will reset me there, I can take my image and I can make it slanted or skewed to fit in the space that's available. It's really, really pretty cool. I'm pretty impressed with that. So that's just kind of a quick and easy look at frames and how to crop and place in frames. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to release a couple of these frames as demos so that you can see them, so that if you want to buy the frame pack is, you know, $29.95. It's at easternshorebroadcasting.com. And if you want to buy the frame pack, it's there in our store. But I'm going to put some samples there that you can download and play with so that you can get a feel for them. The frames come in different shapes and different colors, different thickness of borders. Byron has done a great job with them, and as Gerald pointed out earlier, Byron is going to be one of the presenters at StreamCon, where he'll talk about multi-views and frames and cropping and all of those kinds of things to make your production look like it came out of the Fox News studio or the MSNBC studio or whatever studio that you like. This is the way they don't do it exactly like this, but they do similar kinds of things behind the scenes to put it all together. So that's going to be a lot of fun, both at StreamCon and doing this on your regular setup. Let me see if we've got a couple questions here we can answer as part of the show, and then we'll get to. If you're watching live, hang on after the show is ended here in just a minute, and we'll get to the post-show, and we can dig into some other stuff too. Rod says, how do you import the frames into Vmix? Rod, in Vmix, it's a matter of clicking the Add Input button in the bottom left-hand corner. Oh, golly, why say when you can show? So this is, again, this is my desktop, and let me get my lower third off of there. And in the bottom left-hand corner, if you can follow my mouse there, you can see I click Add Input, and I'm going to go up to Image, and I can browse for the image, and there they are right there. Or I can, let's see, I can just pull up Windows Explorer. Let me drag that window in, and I can find 4 or 5 different, in this case, photos, and I can just drag them in. And those are actually the 4 or 5 photos that I already had, so they're duplicating here. But you can see we've dragged them in just from Windows Explorer. They could be photographs, they could be PNG files, they could be videos, they could be any combination of different things. In fact, let's see. Dono says he imports them as an image. There you go. And it's not really importing. It's not an import. It's adding it. Now, is there a difference between the two? Only in terminology. And the more you can use the terminology of the software, the more likely you are to be able to communicate easily with other people that use the software. For example, if we were to call it import, but in the software it calls it add an input, then when we're talking with other folks, people wouldn't know what you were talking about import. So as much as you can, try to use the technology that the software uses, or the terminology rather, and then you've got the ability to communicate on an apples to apples basis. Giles says maybe use the fly-in transition with the frames as an overlay. You could do that. You could do that. That's a lot of fun. Any other questions here while we're still in the show portion of this port? I see they got folks that are asking questions back and forth between themselves. That's okay. That's not a problem. Okay, well, we are coming to the end of the show here. A couple of dates in particular. If you're heading out to NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters Conference in Las Vegas, later this month, I will be there at the Vmix booth beginning April, I guess it's the 24th, which is Monday, and going through April 27th, which is Thursday. We'll try to do this show from the floor of NAB. And if you're there, please come up and introduce yourself, and I'd love to meet you. And then if you haven't already, please go to the Facebook page right down there and become a member of the Streaming Idiots group so that you can go to the poll. You'll have to scroll down a little bit, go to the poll as to whether or not you're going to NAB, so that we can contact you and let you know when we're doing the Vmix meetup at Scott Whitney's studio there in Las Vegas. And then, of course, coming up in June 8th through 11th in Atlanta will be StreamCon. StreamCon.net is the URL. And we will have more information at that URL as time progresses. I think Gerald's going to have a survey there that you can take and get some input, get your input into what's going to happen at StreamCon coming up this summer. So it's an exciting couple, 3 months coming up. And, I always forget to mention this. This show is sponsored by my company, Eastern Shore Broadcasting. Eastern Shore Broadcasting is a authorized reseller for Vmix and for Magwell video capture cards and for the X Keys line of controllers from PI Engineering and for PTZ Optics, PTZ cameras and controllers and all the paraphernalia that comes with that. We are actually, I know I'm going to take up just a little bit of time here, but I've got to brag on myself for a second. We're working with a radio station in the Mid-South to retrofit their studio with video. And so we've got a neat setup. We've got 4 PTZ cams. They're the 12x zoom, because the studios are not real big, so you don't need a long throw on the zoom. They wanted the white cameras so people would notice them when they walked into this dark studio. They're going to put 2 cams in each studio. They'll be controlled by an IP controller in the control room, and a big Vmix PC, custom PC that we're building right now, as a matter of fact. I should take you into the studio, into the workshop and show you that, but I'm not geared up to do that. Maybe another time. Building that, and it's crammed full of RAM with a super fast processor and a great graphics card and solid state hard drives and all sorts of wonderful inputs. Vmix, of course, can control the cameras, so you've got the ability to switch cameras just by clicking on different inputs in Vmix and making those live. And I'm so excited about this project. It's a great client, and I suspect that we will see more and more radio stations bringing the video aspect of it to. I've got a meeting with a local radio station coming up next week to explore with them some more options. They've already added Vmix, and they want to talk about how to do some other kinds of things to add video to radio. And somebody says in the chat room, hang on, isn't that just TV? Well, it is, but it's not from a TV station. So we've got, for example, here in our local radio market, we have a drive time show, which is going to be, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And on it is a character, this guy that plays a character called Uncle Henry. And Uncle Henry has a poorly fitting toupee, and he has, and part of his character, he wears these false teeth that are kind of twisted, so it gives him a little bit of a speech impediment, and so he's a very distinctive character. Well, those kind of characteristics are lost if all you have is audio. So I mean, and he's been doing this show for years, and he wears the whole setup during his show, even when it's just radio. But now that they've added video to it, it's really allowed him to express himself in his character in a whole different way. And so, yes, it's TV, but no, it's not really TV because it's the same radio character that everybody knows and loves, except now they get to see him. They get to watch him raise his eyebrow when he says something, and so it adds a lot more richness to the character, a lot more richness to the show. And wouldn't you know it, one of the local TV stations has now picked them up, and they're going to take a video feed from them, from the radio station, to fill some space in their morning talk in their morning schedule where they apparently didn't have anything. So it's really, really cool. I'm really excited to be a part of that, and so I had to tell you about it. That's why I had to tell you about it. So we're all done. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Don't forget to join the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/streamingidiots. And don't forget to come on back next week when we will have Bruce Richardson with Video Link from Canada, the beekeeper, here on the show to talk about all sorts of things with video and probably a little bit about beekeeping too, because there's some life lessons that can be learned through that. So on behalf of all this craziness, thanks for tuning in to Streaming Idiots today. We hope you got something out of it. If I can help you in any way, shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com. And till then, we'll see you next week. Bye now. Ah, the jaws of death. That wasn't a bad show. And we are out of here. All right. That was fun. I hope the editing, the cropping, all that shifting, that you guys could see some of that, because it really is. It's the fun part of it. I think I like the kind of the. It's not so much creative for me as it is putting things in order, making all the borders line up and be the right size and the right shape and the right aspect ratio. Dave says Bruce is a beekeeper and Tom is an idiot keeper. Definite life lessons. Dave, oh my goodness, I can't wait to meet Dave in person at NAB. He's going to drive over with his wife from California to see to be at the show for a couple of days. That's going to be really great, really great. And in fact, Dan Slider with PI Engineering, I saw is heading over to Giles's neck of the woods at some point here in the future, and is going to make time to go down to visit Giles's farm. So golly, what a great opportunity for us to connect to each other virtually, and then have opportunities to connect in reality. Oh, that was a secret. Oh, damn. Well, it's not a secret anymore. Oh, Paul D., thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was not, I'm sorry to correct you, it was not a great tutorial, but it was an interesting tutorial. Whether it was something that was worth having or not, we'll see. Let's see. Gerald, are you still there? Or are you gone? Let's see if we can see. Is Gerald? Yeah, either he's just really intrigued by something, or I don't think he's here in the shot. I think he's left the call. Okay, we'll go back to that one. Oh, that is too funny. Let's see. Martin S. says he'll be over at mine soon. Are you coming to the U.S., Martin? Oh, that would be great. That would be great. I'd love to meet you. I don't know how we can do that, but we sure will try. All right. Todd S. says, anybody know what new product New Tech is announcing tomorrow? They're teasing, saying it offers 4K 16 channels and integrated Skype. Well, that's not much of a tease. It sounds like they're telling the whole story. Oh my goodness. Oh, Martin's going to come in the container. Oh, I got you. Okay. Well, we have a port here, so you can come straight to the port. And they'll offload that container at the dock, and I can come down and let you out. That'd be great. If you missed it, it's because Martin and Giles and I guess some of the other gang did the Streaming Idiot show a while back when I was on vacation, and it opened up with a shot of apparently with me inside a shipping container and Martin on the outside. So if you missed that one, you need to go back and see it. It was a really a hoot, really a hoot. Um, Let's see. If you're watching us on YouTube and you wonder who in the world am I talking to, please come up to easternshorebroadcasting.com and join the chat, because we've got all sorts of cool things going on in chat that are just things that unfortunately you just can't see. So, do I have that? Yeah, there it is. Let's just lay that in there for the moment. EasternShoreBroadcasting.com, and you can join it's where it says watch live, and then you can pop over and see the chat. Etonic says, "Hey Tom, I saw your video about using Vmix was featured on StreamingMedia.com. Really? Cool. I didn't know that. That's great." Tom says, "We have to watch on YouTube to get the full screen." Oh, I meant to fix that. I'm sorry, Tommy. But one thing you can do is you can still, well, obviously you've popped out the chop. Jerome's here. Jerome, I love the fact that you've got the same logo here in chat that you've got on Facebook. I guess because you logged in with Facebook, maybe that's why. But that's too cool. That's too cool. Dan at PI Engineering says same issue here. Yeah, apparently I need to add a little bit of code to the embed to allow full screen. I thought I had that, but apparently I didn't. I think when we were having the problems getting each show is unique, obviously, but it's not a unique feed to YouTube. It uses the same URL and the same stream key. And so Dan says it can't pop out or go full stream. And so when we switched over to be able to when we found the right embed code to do the same stream every week, so that I didn't have to change it to a different URL every week in the embed, I forgot to put the allow full screen coding in there. So I'll have to. Curtis says he has YouTube full screen on his second monitor and chat on his main. That's my kind of guy. Although, Curtis, my favorite is when people say, well, yeah, we've got you on the 55-inch, and then we're following the chat on our tablet. That's fun. This is such an exciting time to be in the streaming world, because there's so many new things coming out. They're coming out faster than I can grab them and grasp them and understand them. And so some of them just zip right on by me. And then 6 months later, I'm just now discovering, something that has been around for a while, and just now I was like, oh, wow, this is new. No, it's not new. It's been there all along. You're just now taking time to discover it. All right, Giles says, click the YouTube logo at the bottom of the screen. It will take you to the YouTube page, and then you can watch full screen. That is correct. That is correct. Curtis is getting lots of work done. Tommy says, Tom, do you know you can use your scroll buttons to fine-tune your positions? Yeah, I did know that. And I can also put in digital. I can change the numbers to fine-tune them even closer. Scroll button will do okay, but when you need to get that last little degree. And Carl says your arrow buttons as well. That's right. Mike L says allow full screen in the iframe code. There you go. Giles says scroll wheel. That's right. Not scroll button, Tommy. All right, Curtis says, Tommy, as Barney says on How I Met Your Mother, challenge accepted to put my video on a larger monitor. I'm not talking about a larger monitor. I'm talking about putting it on your TV set. Oh, I'm excited about this. This has nothing to do with this, but our church has decided to show the movie Risen the Friday after Easter. And if you haven't seen the movie, you need to see it. It's the perspective of, it's talking about the resurrection of Jesus, but it's from the perspective of I guess I haven't seen the movie yet, but the perspective of the Roman soldier or somebody on the outside looking in who's like, oh crap, this wasn't supposed to happen. And so we're going to show the movie. We're going to open it up to the community, and we're going to do we've rented a projector and a big screen, and I'm going to feed the big screen with my Asus laptop over here in the corner. So I probably will end up playing with it and putting this show up on the big screen. So I'll put a picture of it when I do it and put it in the Facebook page because I think it'll be funny. TV Todd says Vmix 19 is the perfect companion for our TriCaster 8000, a match made in heaven. Well, the match made in heaven would be 4 PCs with Vmix 19 for the same price of one TriCaster. Oh my goodness. Chris Watts says if Martin is developing Vmix in the same speed the users need special search engine to get. If Martin is developing Vmix in the same speed, the users need to get a special search engine to get information about all the features in the future. Chris, I think you're right. I really do. Tommy loves Martin, and so does Martin. There we go. TMI, guys, TMI. Etonic says people in broadcast even refer to their TV sets at home as a monitor. I guess they probably do. Oh, my goodness. Mike L. says, make sure to get a licensed Tom S. to show the movie locally. That's a good point. That's a good point. I need to do that. We will get the rights to do that. That's the right way to do it. Tom just put you on the big screen and the cat ran away. Well, Paul V., that's about the best compliment I'm going to get today. Oh, my goodness. Jan says, TV Todd, what can the TriCaster 8000 do that Vmix can't? He asks because he really wants to know. I think he's setting you up, Todd. Careful. Jerome says, Tom, I want to be more mobile, so I need a laptop. Yeah, there's great laptops. Check the vmix.com reference page for the Sapphire system. That's the laptops, and it can give you the specs that you need. Rod L says, how did you work out the YouTube same URL for each show you do as opposed to embedding a new one each time? Ah, Rod L, I didn't do it. One of the folks in chat did it, but if you'll shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, I will send you the code and how to get your stuff how to get your channel page into that embed code. I don't know it off the top of my head. Maybe somebody here does and they can share it with you directly, but I'd be happy to copy it and send it to you. Curtis was referring to his TV as a monitor. Ha, he has a 65-inch right behind his desk. 65 inches. Oh my goodness. Martin is mobile all the way. Yeah, Martin's the guy that broadcasts out of the boot of his what do they call a car over there? A auto? What do you call a car in England? Your motor? Mike L. says a rack server and a road case is mobile. Carl E., yes, you may fire me an email for that card too. And John Duval has given it to you right there. And the blanks are where the channel name would go. And the 8000 is already bought and paid for. It's a car. Okay, so it's not a motor. Two wonderful countries separated by a common language. Tom, we need a segment on audio, such as how to put SFX on X keys. What? Speak English, Tommy. Speak English. Martinez says, what you mean is boot rather than trunk in the U.S. Oh, yeah, I got that. And Rich says car, but with an English accent. Well, you don't even want to hear my English accent. It's horrible. Giles says the TriCaster 8000 can do motion tracking. Whoa. Kenny says having trouble getting Vmix to fade to black. Pushing the fade to black button, it flashes red, but nothing happens. Well, that's because you don't see it happen. But if you were at the end of your stream, you would watch it fade to black. For example, I'm going to fade to black here, and it'll run my intro. But how about that? There we go. There is no audio. That's because I'm explaining audio to you. Okay, all right, here we go. How did I turn that thing off? Anybody know? Audio mains. I don't have it on mix. Oh, I know why. When I fade it to black, it killed the audio as part of that, that fade to black. I've got a shortcut that fades to black. It kills the audio. It does 3 or 4 other things. So that's how it worked. All right, so Tommy is asking how I did it. So we're on this page, and I've got an input right below me down there that is .mp3, and I just downloaded off the internet from a free site. I've also got a drum roll, and I've got the ta-da. And so I created a shortcut. We're going to go to shortcuts section right here. And you see I've got a lot of shortcuts set up, including fades to black. And let's see if we can find, yeah, there we go. MIDI note 129, 1:29, which is that particular button on my X keys, will play MP3. So let's edit that one so you can see it. And it shows you what the note is. And that's the part of my X keys right there. The function is play. And so I told it I want it to play. And then what do I want it to play? I want it to play input number 38. And I can assign the shortcut to a specific input number. And so if I change it, it'll stay the same. I can give it a title and a description, but I have to. I can make it a local shortcut. That is, it stays only in this preset, but I want it available in all my presets. And I also want it shown in the web controller. So I'm going to cancel that just in case I changed something by accident. So now whenever I press the dump, dump, dum button right there, I get that. That's how easy it is, Tommy. Don't have to make it hard. Fade to black macro, except in Vmix, Atonic, again, remember, Atronic, remember, we want to try to use the same terminology that's used in the software. For example, in Vmix, the word macro, unless I've missed something, the word macro doesn't exist because you've got triggers and you've got shortcuts and you've got activators. And so you got to be real specific with your language because what is a macro? Is that a trigger or is that a activator or is that a shortcut? Curtis wants to know, is it possible to embed the YouTube live chat on a website? Yeah, the PTZ Optics folks do it every week. Take a look at the ptzoptics.com. I think it's /live, and or just come Friday and watch the show on Friday. It's Friday at I think it's 1 o'clock Eastern, but it could be 2 o'clock Eastern. I'll find out. Or if anybody knows, if Tess is still here, Tess works for PTZ Optics. Chris says it's night for him. But good night, Chris. Dave said, didn't I send you a trombone effect? Dave, you did, and it's sitting in the green room, right there. Tommy said, MIDI note off is what I was looking for. Well, Tommy, except, and let me go back to this for just a second so that you can get the rest of the story. We'll go back into all of this. If I'm going to edit my, oh, well, I guess I have to tell it what I'm going to edit. I'm going to play, dun, dun, dun. I don't know my MIDI controller well enough to know this, whatever this code is, MIDI note off 129. I just click the find button and I press the dum 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 button and it does it for me. And that's probably appropriate, isn't it? The dum 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 button. And so there we go. Now it's got the dum 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 button and it plays. That's it. So the find button, I think, is the key. The find button is the key. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Etonic says, well, I'll just have to get Vmix so I can walk the talk. There you go. That's right. Kenny H says that FTB does not fade the program window to the right. What does it fade then? It fades the program window on the right. It fades that to black. So if I fade, I'm going to hit the fade. Well, let me show you. I'm going to go cut. And see, there's my fade to black button right there. And I'm going to hit it, and you tell me what you see. In front of me, it doesn't fade the window for me, it just fades it for you. So when I click fade to black, you're going to fade to, it's going to fade to black again, it comes back. No, they haven't killed Tom, he's still here. And since I was clicking the fade to black button, it didn't mess with my audio. Now, when I've got a fade to black button on my controller, my X Keys controller here, which, by the way, are available in our store, the fade to black button fades to black, cuts the audio, loads something over here in the preview window, and, oh, it fades my audio too? Well, there you go. Golly, so if I fade to black, it fades my audio. There you go. All right. Well, that's good to know. So you missed most of that. That's because you were faded. You were faded. John says, we did lose your audio on the last fade to black you did. John, it's just your hearing is going, it goes and it comes back and it goes and comes back. And then, you know, your vision goes and it happens when you get old like we are. Oh, and Dave says, you set it in settings to control the audio on fade to black. There you go. 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 Okay, let's see. I'm looking here at watching the YouTube stream health, and it is faded to orange. And I think one of the reasons why it faded to orange, unless you guys are getting buffering, is because that little window, this little window right here, just doesn't have much movement in it. And so YouTube thought, oh, we're just not getting, you know, we're not receiving much data because I wasn't sending much data because there was not anything going on to change the data. And it'll pop back up in a second. But it's a lot of fun. Fade to black is really great. FTB, fade Tom black. Or fade Tom back. Oh my goodness, that's funny. That's funny. Okay, so I got to make a note. I'm going to put some samples of the frames on the purchase page in our store. And let me go ahead and give you the link to that so that you'll know exactly where it is. It is graphics, yes. Camera frames, yes. And it's you know, as Jerry says, it, you know, it's not worth much because there's not much description there. But this is the direct link to the camera frames purchase page, $29.95, and I can see somebody just bought some while we were in the show. Yep, XGNet. Thank you, XGNet. We'll have them to you. Actually, you should get an email with a link in it automatically, so you can download them if you haven't gotten them already. Tom, your ticker says you were going to talk about streaming gear. That was the story about the radio station. That's the streaming gear that we did for the radio station. Yep. And we're also, where else? We've got, we've got the streaming gear. It's all finished and ready for for NAB for the Vmix guys. But yeah, I should have been more specific about that. Jaybird says, when you go on with tests, can you guys test running PTZ cams with an Xbox controller? That's a good idea. If they've got one there, we can do that. I know last year at NAB at the Vmix booth, they had a PTZ cam from PTZ Optics, and they were operating it with the X controller. I don't remember. I doubt if they were operating it with an X controller at the PTZ Optics booth because, of course, they sell controllers, so they don't want to tell you, well, yeah, you can use this $12 controller from Best Buy to control it. Let's see. Jan is saying, Mike, at 40, I'm twice the 20-year version. Twice the experience, twice the knowledge, twice the size. I got that. John has a quick question. Have you used Voice Banana? I use it to internally bring my Hangout audio into Vmix. Yeah, you have to use something like Voice Meter Banana or virtual audio cables in order to take an output of one program and make it and attach it to an input in another program like Vmix. Yep. All right, Kenny says, thanks all. FTB operation on VM. I have to get my mind around that. I cannot see the recording live, but you are saying it will FTB. Kenny, if you've got two monitors, you can set up the second monitor using the full screen button so that you can see what the output will be. And let me just double check as I say that'll really work. So we're going to take the output and we're going to put it on full screen. So when I go fade to black, Yep, it works. So if you've got a second monitor, you can set it on full screen and you can see it again. Yep. Let's see. Jan is the banana guy. Serious Chatwing makes my text bold. It's getting ridiculous. Yeah. Dave says we control our Sonys with the Xbox controllers. It's great for the teen volunteers. Yeah, they feel right at home. Martin says it knows you're old now, so it's just making sure you can read this. Oh, that's great. Another oops coming. Yes, that works, Dan says. Very good. You're so bold today. All right. See, Jan and Martin S. and Giles and probably Merle, too, have got this strange and wonderful relationship. They're still working out who's strange and who's wonderful. Oh, goodness. And Jay Bird was saying that's his idea with the Xbox controller. Oh, and Tommy. Yeah, I forgot Tommy. Well, there's this. Sorry about that. I didn't really say that, did I? No. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Lemonade. I think that's what we're going to serve, or at least part of what we'll serve at the Vmix get-together at NAB. Is lemonade and mixed nuts. So you guys will feel right at home. All right. Martin S., you're only saying what we're thinking. Not going there. Not going there. Not going there. Nope. Hey, and it looks like we picked up another member of the Streaming Idiots group today. So welcome to you if you joined us today on Streaming Idiots. Let's see who it was. We can see it was Angie Price Almond was added by George Price 9 minutes ago, and Jerry XIX was added by Jan, about an hour ago. So we picked up 2 new members. So we must have lost one somewhere along the way. Oh well, sorry about that. Understandable though. Okay, and I'm looking at the Streaming Idiots page, and there are a couple of folks that are watching us in the live page on Streaming Idiots. So I'm glad you're doing that, but come on over to Eastern Shore Broadcasting and chat with us. That's the fun part. I mean, I really do like the chat the best. And John Duvall asked to join Streaming Idiots. Good. Well, let's sign him up. Approved. Yeah. Very good. Welcome, John. Everybody welcome John. Welcome, John. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Woo. And Giles's Monday night show has got a new name. It's The World of Live Streaming. So if you haven't watched that already, that is Monday at 3 o'clock Eastern. Giles, what is the URL for that? Are we still on the same URL as before? Let's see. Oh, bye, Dan. And bye, Carl. Glad to have you guys. Yeah, John said he sent a request to join the Facebook group. Good. Ta-da! Step Back in Time TV, stepbackintime.tv/chat, and then you click the Watch Live button. Okay. World of live streaming with the Vmix guys. Well, there you go. That's it. Oh, look at this. World of live streaming. That gets 2 ta-das. I love it. Or is it a little bit more sinister? I like that. I like that. Dave, I got to find your trombone. I probably put it someplace so I wouldn't lose it. And now I don't know where I put it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. And that's the one. That's right. That's right. Let's see who else has joined us since the show started. Henri is here, and Donovan, and Jay Bird. I didn't see you, but we've recognized you since then. Indrick is here. Alan Z is here. Welcome, Alan Z. Matthew Bigwood is here. Guido is here. Jerome came in late. Andres came in late. Todd came in late. Guest 119 came in late. All you latecomers. M1 Sports Romania. Got it. MT Head. Johnny Campbell. Guest 945. Mr. Knoll. North Car. Rich Ignacio. Got it. Got it. Henri missed the first 5 minutes. Ah, golly gee. Golly gee. Gabriel just added. Todd's been walking the dogs. Todd's been walking the dogs. Let's see. So Gabriel, we just added. John, we just added. Nandu, we just added. Great. So that's 3 new folks in the last 3 minutes. If we go out 14 minutes, it's 4. If we go out to an hour, it's 5. That's outstanding. And the fun thing is that, it's just fun. And there's some good serious stuff. I mean, it can be as fun or as serious as you want it to. Let's see. Kenny's got to go. Understand. And Henri is pronounced like that radio uncle. Oh, well, okay, then. The lowercase h made me think he was an on, not a hen. Henry, got it. All right, and Nandu is here. Got it. And the wife is, what is the walking the dogs code for? Guys don't talk in code. It's women that talk in code. 467 members, scary. The scary part about it, Jan, is that 467 people, well, 465, not including you and me, are crazy enough to join and thinks that we might actually know something that's worth sharing. Amazing. All right, and M1 Sport Romania said, thanks for accepting me in the group. It's Gabriel. Welcome. Glad to have you. Jan didn't expect this group to exceed 200. Well, Jan, what happened is, you and the wife tapped into a need and a desire for folks to know more about live streaming, but also to enjoy the community of live streamers. Because, sometimes geeks tend to be, if you go to a party, who do you talk to? There are no other geeks there. And so, when do we talk to each other? Well, we can through the Streaming Idiots Facebook page. Thank you very much. Merle says, when do the t-shirts come out? Oh, my. Mike says, we talk in code. We do? I'm not smart enough to talk in code. Chris slept in. Oh, gosh. All right. Giles is saying some sort of code there. Fun, X question 9, he F E10M. I don't get it. Jan says true, and even if it's just by accident, 467 people does have quite some knowledge between us. Yes, Indeed. Indeed. That's the other beauty of it. Where some of us are in the shallow end of the pool, some of us are in the deep end. And other places where I'm in the deep end, somebody else is in the shallow end. So I can help you with X and you can help me with Y. It's beautiful. Todd says, no code. I have to walk the dogs at different times due to back issues. Giles says, read the letters. FUNEX question .. 9 comma IFE dash 10M winky face. Todd didn't mean to be rude at all. Todd, we didn't think you were rude. That was the wife. She, as one of the lone females here, she was just giving you a hard time. I mean, that's quite a compliment, actually. When she gives me a hard time, I always take it as a compliment. Martin S. says he's not even in the pool. Yeah, that's because you're in the boot. But that's okay. All right. It reads, have you any eggs? 9, I have eaten them. Gotcha. Jay Bird says, on your fade to black, it also fades to black the recording as well. That's correct. Whatever's on the output, that window with the green top, you can't see the green top, but believe me, it's there. Whatever's there gets faded, and that would be output, that would be external. If you're using the external output, it's on there. If you're using, if the external output is set to output, that is, and the recording and the stream. And Jan says, correction, 468 members. Martin is on his way to the pool. Todd Wolf says, you're looking peachy today. Thank you. I hesitated to wear orange, but I was tired of wearing blue and tired of wearing yellow. The wife says, how does an F become a have? Ev sounds a bit like have. Kind of like, if you're in England, it does. Have you any? That's my only accent. Okay, that's getting crazy. Only in the UK, that's right. That's right. All right, folks, I think I'm going to fold the tents today, but next week, look for Bruce Richardson, the beekeeper and proprietor at Video Links. And 2 weeks from today, look for Mike Cannell at Sportscast. And 3 weeks from today, look for the NAB show. And then next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, look for the Vmix Fun Time live show. And then this coming Friday, I probably ought to get a time and day for it. Let's see if I can find out. Is the PTZ Optics show. Let's see if they posted. Bum, 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 bum. No, they haven't posted a notice on their Facebook page yet. If you haven't already, you can join the PTZ Optics user group if you have any interest in that. I'm going to put a link in chat. That's there. Ask Bruce about his custom road cases. Mike, come on the show and ask him. Come watch the show and ask him. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Guido. Appreciate that a bunch. No doubt. Okay, so Ed Horn is now a streaming idiot. Welcome, Ed. We are glad to have you. And George Price just posted on the Streaming Idiots Facebook page. So thank you, George. I don't know what you posted, but we'll have to go look. All right, so let's see if we can find the PTZ Optics live show time for tomorrow. It's funny because when I go to the PTZ Optics website, I can't necessarily find the live show link. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Okay, here it is. 2 p.m. Eastern time on Friday. And there's a giveaway. They're giving away a virtual set, Volume 7 from Virtual Setworks, a $1,300 value. So you want to take a look at that. You can go to ptzoptics.com and get more information. ptzoptics.com. And then, of course, you want to come watch the show because Tess will be on it. And she's much better looking than me. But it'll be fun. I'm not sure whether I'll just be helping her from the wings or actually be a participant. But either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. And you know, it's the kind of stuff that you do. You help folks. Jaybird says, are you able to program a dump button, either Vmix or YouTube? I don't know what that is. Yeah, Rudy's not allowed. Rudy's not allowed to enter. Oh goodness! And don't forget, don't forget Giles' show. Giles and Martin and Tommy and Jan and Merle are on next Monday. Oh, excuse me, at 3 o'clock Eastern at World of. Golly, what is it now? I've forgotten. It was here just a minute ago. worldoflivestreaming.com. There you go. worldoflivestreaming.com. And Giles will look forward to the PTZ Optics show. Yep. Yeah, I'm not sure if the guest, no, I don't know who the guest is. Maybe it's not going to be a guest at all. It may be just Tess doing. All right, Jaybird says, if someone says something inappropriate, is there a dump button to cut the stream before it hits YouTube? Ah, good question. You know, I'm sure you could program it. Well, I'm not sure you can program it. I don't know. That's a question. Yeah, Mike Lotta's banned because he won the joystick controller. Todd says, I miss you too, Tom. I hope I'll be able to be here for more live programs. Good. Good. Good, 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 good. Giles says, yes, you can program your X keys to stop streaming. And I actually have a stop button on here. I think I'm going to press it. Oh, this is interesting. We've got more people in chat than we do watching us on YouTube. I wonder if that's because they're watching us on Facebook. Could be. All right, folks, I got to go back to work. It's a joy to hang out with you guys. I really appreciate you, and ladies, of course. And have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend. We'll see some of you on Friday at the PTZ Optics show. We'll see some of you on Monday at World of Live Streaming. We'll see some of you on Tuesday at the Vmix Funtime Live show, and we'll see some of you Wednesday on Streaming Idiots. So it's going to be a really fun time. Let's see. Martin says, it's only work time. Why do today what you can put off to tomorrow? Oh, well, no. Martin, you misunderstand. This is part of work. So I got to get the video, upload it to YouTube. I got to write a description, put in some keywords, answer some emails from people that have emailed me about this. I've got to upload some free frames to the website so that people can sample them before they buy them, and that's work, man. I mean, it's not work, but it is that which I call work. So it's all good. It's all good. It's lovely. Thank you guys so much, and we're going to let this play out because it does need to play out for a few more minutes, or else it'll quit right away when I stop it. So we're going to switch over to a graphic and a little background audio. I ought to put a button on my X keys for that. Can we do that? Well, let's just try. We've got to write a script. Okay, so I'm gonna first of all, I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. I'm gonna go to Settings. I'm gonna go to Scripting, and only the 4K edition and the Pro edition have scripting. I'm gonna copy. Can I clone that? Well, let's see. Let's edit it, and we'll just copy it because I've already got it there. We'll close it. We'll add it, and this is going to be a script to what are we going to do? We're going to move a we're going to move input number 10 to program. So it's going to be ASUS number 10 to program. Okay. And then we'll put in the, it's dim client equal web request dot create, and then in parentheses it's got the address of the ASUS, and the function equals stop streaming. And that's not the function I want, so I'm going to save that and close it and say OK, and let's go look up in shortcuts what the options are. So we'll add, the function is going to be probably cut, and then will be the input. Okay. Well, let's see if we can do that. I don't know if it'll work like that, but we'll try it. Settings, scripting, number 10 to program, edit. Function is going to be cut. And I need to identify the input, because if I just do cut right now, it's going to take, well, if I put this input in preview, it'll do that. So let's see. We'll save that, close it, and I'm going to highlight that one, and let's see if it sends it to preview. Yeah, how about that? And it brings it back, okay? It just cut whatever was on the ASUS in preview to program. Now I can't see that in front of me, but I can see it if I look over my shoulder. All right, now how do I identify a specific input? Well, I don't know that. Can you, I guess you can add, see, I want to play another input too, so I'm going to have to look that up. Giles says, Tom, could you post that code to the chat? I've not played with scripting yet. I think it's about time I did. Sure. Let's see. This is the coding for just a cut on a second PC. And this is a start recording. on the second PC. And it's basically, it's just a matter of, you know, the function. This is a different function. Instead of cut, it's start. Whoops. Let's see. Did I not do the whole thing? Yeah. For some reason it didn't work. Let me try again. Start recording, edit, all, copy. Yeah, there we go. So ignore the first line. Just whatever was below the as. Charles says, I have seen you can load a particular input. There's an example in the manual. Etronic says, as a dim client, someone that hires a streaming idiot. Bingo. Bingo, 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 bingo. Okay, well, let's see what the help says about search for scripting. Scripting and automations, web scripting, scripting settings, introduction feed. Settings, shortcut function reference. Okay. Input, ba-da-bum-bum-bum. Okay, I'm looking on this, and it's the input is a really long number. Where did they get the numbers for the inputs? Input, specify an input by the number starting from 1. 0 can be used for preview and -1 for active. Oh, okay. So it would be and input equals 10. All right, so let's go back to settings. Let's go back to scripting. We're going to go there. We're going to edit that one. We're going to go function equal cut and input equal 10. Well, let's see if that works. Save. Nope. Variable declaration without an as clause. Type of object assumed. Oh, I see. I got to move my quote maybe to the end of the line. Let's try that. Save. Yeah, that took a... All right, so we got that one right there. And we'll start it and see if number 10 pops up there. Well, I got to get it out of preview. Okay. Now, let's see if that works. So you should see, hey, it worked. All right. Cool. Now I'm stuck with that there. So I got to go back here and just do a cut. Now I want it to play music on that. So I can add more to that one and say function equal cut and input equal 10 and function equal play and input equal, and what's the song is number 3. I don't know if you can put them, stack them like that, but let's just try it and see. close. So let's see. You guys should see that screen and then hear music. Well, let's see. Let's got to select one. There we go. The remote server returned an error. Okay. Well, that didn't get it. Let's see if anybody's following along with me. Input number is numeric. You can use the input key. You can get quite in the wrong place. Quote in the wrong place. Thank you. Got that. Dim client create API. Dim client we get request. Yeah, cool beans. That will return your config, which will tell you the keys for the inputs. The key remains the same even if you shuffle inputs, while the numbers will change as you shuffle inputs. That's a good point, Blake. Thank you. The function is add input. Okay. Or is that answer to Giles? Yeah, I think the stream's still there. Or is it offline? Am I still here? Okay, I'm still here. Thank you, Martinez. Can you do it as two separate? Yeah, I think that's two separate. In out was to Giles to create a new input programmatic. I gotcha. Audio, no video. Check, 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 check. You should have video now. Yep, still watching all here on YouTube, YouTube streaming. Okay. All right, well, let's try two separate lines then, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just faking it. So let's go there. We'll go there. We'll take out the part there. Cut an input. And function equal play. Input equal 3. We're going to function equal play. And input equal 3. So that's trying as 2. Nope. Error line 1. Variable declaration without an as clause. Does that mean I forgot my... That was working before. You can only execute one function per call. Okay. Change the second pair to client 2. Okay. That didn't help. Let's cut all that for a second and see if this will save by itself. Yes. Change the variable name in the second pair to client 2. This is what you need, Tom. Add 2 to the second client response. Oh, gotcha. So it's response 2 equal time client 2 get response. Talking about that right there. Nope, not talking about that right there. Response 2. Well, it's saved. Let's close it and see if it'll do anything. So you guys should see the Streaming Idiots page and hear music if I did it right. Well, you got the page, but you didn't get the music. Okay. No music, but seeing Streaming Idiots, right. All right, so this, I'm going to put this in chat because maybe you guys can see it better there. That's my second line that doesn't work. Where am I wrong? What did I do wrong there? Is the audio for that input on? No. Is the audio on input 3 open? So I need to turn it on? Ah, that's what I need. I need to, function is on. Well, let's try that. All right, here we go. You should see the Streaming Idiots page and hear music. No music. All right, program error line 4, the remote server returned an error. Okay, well, that's no surprise. Was it playing with blue bars? Yes, it was playing with blue bars. I mean, it's playing actually all the time. And so I told it to turn on. Maybe what is this? What is this script? Is it audio on? What did I do with help? Let's see. No, the function is play. Well, it's already playing. That's the thing. And so, but it's not blue. I mean, it's blue. It's not green. Input 3, the audio fader is up. Yes. But it's not on, i.e. the audio is not, it's playing, but it's muted. Can you put input 3 in the preview group at the bottom? I don't understand. I'm sorry. Shortcut function reference. That's what I was looking for. Audio. Function play will only start at playing. Right. That's what I'm assuming. Matthew says you may have to unmute the audio. Well, yeah, but the idea is that I can hit one button and it will turn the audio on and pop that image into the output so that I don't have to reach over and do it myself. And the next part would be to actually turn this audio off. I guess I could stop it and turn the audio on and stop it, and then it would, let's see, let's try that. Let's stop it, turn it on. So, let's go back to the scripting and edit. And function is play, P-L-A-Y. And input 3, so let's save that. It saved it. All right, let's try it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, well that did it. That did it. How about that? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Thank you. Appreciate your help. The question, you know, the trick is just to be smart. To turn the audio on via script would be audio on. Well, I'd rather do that, I guess. Actually, it doesn't matter. I could add that so whether the audio was already on or not, it would turn it on. If it was playing or not, it would already play it. So it won't hurt to send it a command if it's already doing that command, right? So if that's the case, we'll let you see what I'm doing. We're going to go to settings. We're going to go to scripting. We're going to pick that script. We're going to edit it. We're going to add another line. And that's going to be dim client 3. Can we do a dim client 3? And response 3. And client 3. And the function will be audio on. And the input will 3. Okay. Let's save it. Close it, add it. Oh, Blake, you've left me behind in the bushes on that one. Remove the dims from all lines except the first 2, then you can reuse the client and response. I have no idea what you're talking about. Remove the dims from all lines except the first 2 lines. then you can reuse the client in response. I mean, I understand the direction. I don't have a clue. You know, it would be like, you know, stand on your nose and click your heels together. And I could understand what you're saying, but it doesn't mean anything to me. So let's just try it like this for the moment and see what happens. All right, so we're going to select that one, and I'm going to turn the audio off. And it's not playing, and it's not on. So if I do it right, it'll play and turn on. Right? Right. Well, it's playing, but it didn't turn on. But it's running. And if I stop it, what happens? Nothing. Okay. So it's a script that kept going. Let's see. Let's go back here. All right, so there's some code there that says function cut input 10. Function play input 3. Function audio on input 3. The dim line defines a variable. Once it's been defined, you can reuse it. The reason you were getting an area earlier was because you were redefining the client variable. It's your code, but without the extra dins. Okay, well, let me just copy it and see what happens. Copy. And we'll paste. Audio on. Did I spell that right? Oh, that's your code, so I don't know. Let's save it, close it, and we'll play it. Ready, set, go. Didn't do anything. Didn't play the audio. Didn't turn the audio on, and it didn't change the input. So we went backwards on that one. Yeah, that's kind of what I say. Well, I'll play with it some more. Set fader. Well, the fader's already set 2/3 of the way up, which is good because I don't want to blow your ears out. Because the fader has not moved. And the one time when we told the audio to turn on, no, to play, the audio was already on, the fader was already in a certain position. So it didn't read the position at all. let's return back here and see where we are. See if that makes any difference. Audio on, input 3. Audio play, and then play input 3. Well, is there a play audio button? You can turn the audio on, you can turn the audio off. You can tell an input to play, or to play pause, or to pause, or to restart. Okay, so we've got the audio for input 3 is not playing and it's not turned on. This is the original code we were using before. And it doesn't do anything. Except to say it returned an error. A 404 error not found. Aha. Maybe I didn't save that. Save, close, start. Okay. Well, we will just save, close, and this should just move the, no, that doesn't even work now. I think there was a question mark missing. Yep. That's exactly what I got. Save, close, start. There we go. Stop, start. Okay. I hate to let something be halfway done. All right, let's see. Try some new code. That's the right code right there. I like Blake's positive attitude. That's the right code. Let's just edit. We're going to add all that new code. We're going to save it. We're going to close it. We're going to start it. And it didn't do anything. Didn't turn on the audio, didn't play the audio, and didn't switch the... Well, it ran, but it didn't move the input at all. Well, that's all right. It was fun. It was good exercise. I got to go to work. Blake, thank you for taking time with me. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. So let's see if we can go back to that code right there. Save it. Close it. Execute it. No, that doesn't work either. Wrong input on first row. Wrong input. Input number 10 is the graphic that we're trying to get to go to cut. Right. And for some reason, it just won't even do squat. Let's see what the original code was, see what the difference is. Copy that. Copy that. So what's the difference in those two codes? Well, nothing. Odd, it's working on his Vmix. Well, no surprise there. Copy. Paste. Those lines look exactly like. Nada. Okay. Thank you guys. Appreciate your help. And we'll play with this some more. Play with some more. Meanwhile, I'm going to let it run out by doing it normally. So we'll fade here. And we'll turn on some music here. And I'll catch you on the move. Bye, guys.